Good evening, everyone. This is the 7th episode.
7 episodes.
Of the Indecisive Cinema, where you can catch it at www.itunes.com under podcast. Well, do you know, Jeremy, I haven't introduced this yet, but what's the exact link to get to our...
Well, it's posted in 2 places. It's posted on iTunes and then also on my website, which is www.jeremymknight.com/podcast. There's also a tab for it. Feel free to go and just listen to on either one, but more importantly, go on iTunes though and leave us a review.
Reviews are good.
Obviously, if you haven't listened to us before, listen to the episode and then go do that. But if you have, it's very important to us that you go on there and you leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Let us know. Be nice on there, because we need as many reviews as we can to offset the one person that's like, I hate this podcast. They can burn in hell. No, but
it
happens on YouTube all the time.
We got to reply to that. I want to reply to that.
It's not as common on iTunes for somebody to leave a hateful review, but it happens. So we want everybody to go on there and leave us a review. Even if you haven't listened to like a full episode, just tell them, say something nice, and give us a 5-star review. I don't care if you've never listened to an episode, just go on there, subscribe, listen to it, and review us. So it's important. It helps us get views and stuff like that. Gets people paying attention to us. We've actually grown in subscribers. We actually have over 50 now.
50 subscribers, and they're not just family and friends, right?
I'm assuming at this point it's probably not. But yeah, I mean, the only thing is, that's actually not a bad number considering like on YouTube that's nothing. 50 subscribers.
And it's funny, when did this happen? Gradually, or like over the last week?
Just over the past couple of weeks. I mean,
okay.
It's progressive. It's every once in a while.
I'll give Lisa a shout out. Lisa said that she's going to get everybody listening. All of a sudden, he told me we got more subscribers. I'm like, what?
And one way that you can subscribe, that you can do it from, if you have an iPhone or an iPad or anything like that, you can go. There's a podcast app on your phone. If you go on there and you type in the search bar, Indecisive Cinema, you can hit subscribe and you can review from your phone. That's the best. That's the easiest way to do it. If you're an Android user, I don't know how that works on Android, to be perfectly honest. I'm assuming you probably have to go to Apple's website off the phone. I don't know. It's not super important, but yeah.
I do that just so I can read the reviews, because I can't do it from my iPhone. Now that I subscribe, it goes right to the show.
Do what? What do you mean the reviews?
Well, on my iPhone, when I subscribe to our show, it cuts all the reviews out on our front page and all that. Just goes right to the episodes.
What do you mean? What do you mean our reviews?
Well, when you go to iTunes, the first thing it says ratings and reviews. You click that.
Yeah.
But you can't do that now. Like on my iPhone, as soon as I subscribe, it takes you right to the episodes.
Well, you have to go back to the search, like the
search. Back to the search.
It's kind of dumb, but yeah, because there's no like owner app on the I can't go on there and like I don't have. There's no app for like the people who host the podcast, so I'm just you literally have to type in Indecisive Cinema in order to see all the ratings and reviews and stuff. That's just kind of how it is. It's kind of dumb, but yeah, like if you subscribe though, it just shows up in your library, and you just see the episode. You can listen to it off there. So that's for those of you that don't know how to do that. There's the 2-minute long tutorial on how to subscribe to our podcast. Hopefully you've already done that. Hopefully you're listening. If you're not, I don't know how you would hear this explanation of how to subscribe. So tell your friends. Tell them to listen as well.
Tell your friends.
And that's our pitch for the day. We're gonna move on.
And that was Jeremy Knight, and I'm Carlos Hernandez.
I am Jeremy Knight. Yes, that's my name.
And this is episode 7, which is good. Seven's a good number.
7 consistent episodes. We had 1 week where we went to New York, where we stopped.
I went to New York,
Other than that, 7 weeks in a row. So I guess 6 now in a row.
6 weeks in a row. Yeah.
So we did the first one and then took a break and
I got a boot today. I got my boot on.
His ankle's getting better.
He's
on his way to recovery.
Yeah. So just for all you fans out there,
seemed like you're getting around a little better. It seemed like from.
Yeah, I got rid of the walk. I went through. The walk had ants in it. You believe that?
Oh my gosh! How did that happen?
Funny story. My girlfriend Rhonda, I love her. She had all her grandfather's stuff was all stored in their barn, so she got me a walker, and it's all rackety and shit. And the first day, there's a big fat red ant on the thing. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, smack it away. Cut to a day later, it's walking on my arm, and I'm like, can't be the same one. So I'm at work, and this is the best part. I'm at work. And I feel like itching in my foot, and I'm looking down. I have like a shoehorn, and I'm in there, and that crush of a dead ant comes out of my foot.
Nice.
So in the walker, there's dead ants. Well, they're real ants. They're still living in there. But that's my funny story for the week. So about you, Jeremy. Tell me a little bit about your week outside the show.
Well, I mean, it was kind of busy, actually. I didn't watch a whole lot of movies. I did see Birdman finally, which we're going to talk about in a bit after we do our movie news and stuff like that. That's other than that. Oh, I did watch Obvious Child with.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Well, we might talk about it officially on the show.
Okay.
I liked it. I don't think it's great.
It's
it's a small movie. It's not like there's not a huge plot to it. It's
I like her though.
She's very good in the movie.
Yeah.
I hope she's in a lot more after this. I think she's very funny.
She's on Parks and Rec.
She's delightful. So that's my review. I think it's really good. She's great in it. It's worth seeing just for her. It's not like if you compare it to other like something like Louie or it's about a comedian. She plays a comedian in it. It's not like herself though, but it's basically a version of herself. And she's kind of obnoxious. So if you're not into like obnoxious characters like Steve Carell in The Office or like Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec, like characters like that, she's very similar to them. Just kind of immature, but very intelligent, but just acts like an idiot. That's kind of what character she plays in it. She's very good in the movie though. Like I said, I think it's worth it just for her. And it does some interesting things in the romantic comedy world, but for the most part, I think it's just kind of a small movie about somebody who's funny that kind of has a bunch of problems. It's solid. But yeah, I watched that. I got a new job.
Good for you. Good for you.
A new freelance position or freelance job, I guess. Working for a wedding company, and I've been doing interviews all week. And we shot a new episode of our television show Westish, which is I think you could, if you go to Westish, I think if you type in Westish TV series in the YouTube in a Google, not YouTube, there's a website for it. You should go check it out. We just shot episode 5 and 6, I believe. They're like 15 minutes apiece, or something like that.
Westish.
And it's a Western comedy that we're working on, and I was just a key grip on it, but. A lot of my friends put it together. Though the main producer, Grayson Berry, somebody who I've worked with a lot of times, he's a great dude. So go check it out. That's about all I did this week. Shot some commercial stuff and some
good.
Edited some weddings. So no complaints.
And the last thing, did you say our fan? Was it David?
Oh, Dave White. He messaged me. Dave White is the host, film critic for movies.com. Husband of Alonzo Duralde from What the Flick and therap.com, and they're the film critic couple that does a podcast called Linoleum Knife, and Dave has I sent him a link to it one time. We mentioned this on a previous podcast. I think it was like episode 3 or something like that, and he started listening to it and messaging me on Facebook and talking about like random stories and things like that. And this week he messaged me and said that he finished episode 3 and was working on episode 4, and he was like let me find the message directly, but he was like I finished episode 3 completely. I listened to all of it, and I'm listening to episode 4, and I just have to say it's the one where you start complimenting me, which I think is super fucking accurate because I'm awesome. And then he started going into
a little Archer in him.
Yes. It got to a point where we were talking about dick pics sent by listeners. That's where the conversation went. It was good. That dude, he's a good I-emmer. That Dave White. But no, so we have a listener.
His voice right? Is that his voice?
I don't know if I have
so
a deep enough voice.
You can say "fuck you." That's not my voice.
Well, it's kind of like I don't know if he's over. I have never met him in person, so I don't know if he's over exaggerating that like the growling like deep voice or not.
Like Christian Bale.
Yeah, it's not quite that extent, but yeah, I don't know that I have the voice to perfectly imitate him. But no, yeah, Dave White. If you guys haven't listened to Linoleum Knife. Please do so. It's really the reason that we have this podcast. It's why I got into podcasting in general, and so definitely go check them out. And
thanks, David.
Thank you, Dave, and Alonzo. Alonzo's great too. Sundance is going on right now. I guess we'll move into movie news. A lot of big stuff happening. For the SAG Awards were last night. It's a big deal. Birdman won big in a lot of different categories.
Wow, category, yeah.
Like I said, I'll do my review of it in a minute. You have not seen Birdman yet.
No, I'm upset you went without me. But yeah, I mean, obviously this shows that's a lock for Best Actor. at the Academy
Awards. At this point. I mean, like I said, we talked about this last week. If you want to hear us complain about all the Oscar nominations, episode 6 has all of those, and I think it was episode 6. Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, so go check that out. But yeah, I hated that Gyllenhaal didn't get nominated. I think everybody did for the most part, and I thought he was going to win. But now having seen Birdman, I really hope Michael Keaton wins. I think he's great. We'll get to that in a minute, but yeah. So Birdman won big, a lot of good awards. I mean, I think at this point we kind of know what's going to win for the most part of the Oscars. Yeah. Most likely, at least we know what most people are thinking. Yeah. And then meanwhile, DreamWorks laid off 350 people from their animation studio.
What's the story though? Why do you know any?
They didn't announce. They didn't release a whole lot of information on it. I mean, I just think they're the animation budgets are going down, and they're letting people go, and that's really sad. I mean, just in general, I think a lot of the visual effects artists and people do motion graphics and animation and modeling and compositing, all that kind of all of those types of jobs in the post production world. It's getting harder to keep them around. I don't know what the deal is, but it's a bad thing. But
well, I mean, what is it? Is there an evolution in digital graphics? Like you said.
Because software is getting much better. I mean, it's getting cheaper for everyone to be able to. Like, I have access. I have After Effects. I have Cinema 4D. I'm not great with them. That's not my specialty. Yeah. I'm a video editor, not like a post production. I don't do everything in post production. But it's getting much cheaper. Computers are getting cheaper. The software is getting cheaper. And this is happening in just the film world in general as well. Cameras are much cheaper, and all of that. It's becoming harder to, I mean, there's lots of competition. I don't think that's necessarily the reason for this, though. I don't know, because it is. I really feel like it's becoming cheaper for the companies to be able to run these machines. Like you used to have to spend. I mean, people still spend lots of money on them, but you used to have to spend $30,000 on an Avid machine just to be able to video edit. Now it's for a couple grand you can get a monster of a computer that can do that. It's just I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but I do know there's a lot more competition in that area.
Yeah, DreamWorks has laid low lately. I mean, after Shrek, they didn't really have much on their plate.
They didn't they do How to Train Your Dragon? I believe is the other big one.
Right, which I don't think deserved anything. I mean,
really, I like it a lot.
Do you like How to Train Your Dragon?
I have not seen the second one yet.
I saw it the other night.
Did you see the first one?
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, I had to see the first one. But I don't want to like this. I mean, they're fun, but like compared to something like Lego, the Lego movie, which is by far superbly, in every way, writing and acting and everything. I mean, so
I'm a huge fan of Lego movie. Yeah, I do like the first How to Train Your Dragon movie a lot.
But what would you pick, Lego or How to Train Your Dragon?
Lego, just but they're different movies. I mean, it's
I guess
one's more of a drama. It's not as fun. Like Lego movie is a very funny movie. Yeah. I don't know, but whatever. Right. It's sad that they're laying off 350 people. That's not a good thing. And then Emma Watson. They announced that Emma Watson is going to star in Disney's live action version of Beauty and the Beast.
That's interesting. I like that.
I'm fine with that casting. Why are they making a live action version of Beauty and the Beast though? Is more
because
my
they just made one of Cinderella, so I guess they had
and Into the Woods and whatnot. Well, Into the Woods wasn't. That was a play, I guess, originally, but still, I guess that's working for them. Those live action fantasy.
Let them do it. I mean, she's beautiful. I would watch.
I love her. I think she's great.
Interesting. Who they're going to capture? I think a young actor right now.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to for the Beast.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna have to I would see Andy Serkis or somebody like that who could do. I mean, I would assume that they're gonna do some kind of.
But you mean only for the
motion
Beast?
Capture?
Yeah, only for the Beast.
For the Beast, yes. I mean, Andy Serkis is not a good looking enough dude to play. I mean, but I could see them doing somebody like that though that can do the motion capture work.
He's good with
who's
that.
Experienced. That'd be cool. But again, he can't really play the handsome, charming prince. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But who cares about a live action Beauty and the Beast remake? Like, I mean, it's one thing. Like 2 years ago, they re-released them so they could make money off that. Yeah. And then now they're doing a live.
Maleficent was a big hit.
Yeah, you did like Maleficent. Yeah, I have not seen Maleficent.
You have not. And then Cinderella's coming out in a couple of weeks, so you'll check it out, I guess.
Will I, though? It's coming out at the beginning of the year.
February, which is the dumping ground.
Well, January is really...
January, September.
For January, though, for us, like, if you live in LA, January is you get all the shit, but, like, and for us, though, we're getting a lot of the movies that didn't come out and we didn't get to see in December, like Inherent Vice and stuff like that.
I want to see that.
we live in Houston, and so I mean we get stuff like a month late sometimes, and like a Most Violent Year is another one that's not coming out until the 30th, which is this upcoming weekend. I really want to see that. That looks really great. It's random what we get in January though, but you have movies like Strange Magic by George Lucas and bunch of shit theaters this week. I mean, I'm really tempted to go see A Boy Next Door though. That movie looks fantastically terrible. I really want to see that. But I can't find anyone to go willing to pay to go see that movie with me.
Jennifer Lopez,
J-Lo. That movie looks so stupid. Oh man, it's like what The Guest is making fun of. Like the movie The Guest that came out, my favorite film of last year. It's the type of movie that's making fun of. And
boy, he's in something. That's right.
Who?
I just saw him. He's in a movie coming out.
Dan Stevens?
Yeah.
Well, he's in Night at the Museum 3.
This new movie, and he. Oh man.
I don't know. Look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
I'll continue talking.
But I just saw the.
Regardless, though, The Boy Next Door looks terrible, but it looks so great in like a really bad way. I want to go see it. I don't know if I want to pay to see it though, but it'll definitely be one I'll be catching. I'll pay to go see like Whiplash again or something like that and walk into it.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff on Whiplash on the SAGs last night too.
Yeah, Whiplash is great. I'm going to hold off on Birdman. We'll get to that because I'm going to compare those two in a minute. And then the Duplass brothers signed a 4-movie deal with Netflix.
And it feature length again, right?
Actually, yeah, features. Yeah, these are actual films, not like short films or TV. I mean, they're already doing Togetherness, which we're going to also talk about later.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome. I really think it's awesome. I think when Netflix and Amazon, when they started, we talked about that last week. I think when Amazon announced that they're going to start doing films, I think this is what you're going to see: is the directors like the Duplass brothers that they're going to give them $1 million to make a movie or whatever. Maybe a couple million, $10 million or so, and we're going to get a lot of independent, like mumblecore and like movies like even like we're going to talk about Edgar Wright today. I guess we didn't talk about that either. Our director of the week is Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
We're going to get to him in a minute, his filmography, but I think we're going to get some of the movies like that. He makes movies for really cheap, and he makes them really funny. He makes them on the cheap, but they're really good. I think that's what we're going to start seeing from these bigger studios is cheaper, awesome films that lots of people are going to love. I mean, there might be some stinkers here and there, but it's going to be much more interesting than The Boy Next Door, which is maybe made for not $1 million and is a shithole. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's like Marvel. When Marvel got Netflix bought Marvel. You got Daredevil coming out next month. You got the Jessica Jones story. It's a big thing because Marvel could put a little bit of bucks into lesser known characters or characters they don't really want to put a big budget into.
We get a whole series from it.
Yeah, and
even if it's not perfect,
exactly.
But Netflix is pretty good about hearing from the fans and going, "Oh, that didn't work. We need to do something else as well." I mean, Marvel's been really great about that. I think for the most part, taking some of that constructive feedback and producing quality content for the most part. Agreed. I mean, it's one thing. Those are shows that are harder to make on a budget. I mean, you can't make that series for really cheap.
Yeah.
It's just that's how it is. So. Who knows? But I mean, I think it's exciting though because I think we're going to start seeing just lots of new content. Like content that fans want. Same with television as well, like Arrested Development and stuff like that. I'm really excited. I think we'll start seeing a lot of stuff. Directors like Joey Swanberg or the Duplass brothers or Rian Johnson or somebody like that. I mean, I want to see his Star Wars movie and because of the way that this new format of filmmaking is working. I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to actually be able to see these directors that sci-fi genre filmmakers even Adam Weingart who The Guest or something like that. Give him some more movies. I want to see. The Guest was made for under $30 million or something like that. It wasn't made for a lot of money. And that's an awesome movie.
I'm surprised it made. I mean, it was made for like that much.
Well, and I don't know the official budget of it, but it was under or like The Raid. The Raid was made for nothing. The first Raid was made for under $1 million, and we got this amazing action film. Yeah. Let's see more of that. I think it's really exciting. So the fact that they're starting to sign directors onto these different movie deals, I don't know how much creative control they're going to have, but I think for the most part, from all the content that chair is going crazy. One of these days, we're going to get premium leather office chairs in here. We'll just open up our own studio just for this, but that day is not today. We're working on squeaky kitchen chairs.
Sorry about that.
But no. And so I mean, I think it's awesome. I don't know. I think Netflix is going to give these guys the creative control. So it's cool. Who knows? Maybe I'll one day get to make a movie for Netflix.
For Netflix, that's right.
That's an awesome idea. So anyway, and then Edgar Wright is going to pen a steampunk version of Oliver Twist.
Interesting.
What the hell is that?
What steampunk or Oliver Twist?
Well, I know what steampunk is. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
What? I mean, like, what does that? What does that look like?
I mean,
it's gonna be like a dark, like Tim Burton style, like
much,
crazy, like
with sci-fi elements to it. You know how the steampunk, takes the old and the new. I mean, I don't know. I don't even like. Was it Oliver Twist? So I mean,
but what elements of Oliver Twist require steampunk? Now we're going to talk about Edgar Wright in a minute.
Yeah.
I love Edgar Wright. I just want him to continue working on stuff, so I don't care what he's doing. He's going to make it interesting. He hasn't failed me so far, and so I'm all for it. And then also Simon Pegg is going to. This was actually news a couple weeks back, but I figured since we were talking about Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, we talk about it. He's going to write Star Trek 3.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that.
What do you think of that? I mean, you like. Do you like both Star Trek movies?
I did. I very much so. I'm on still, but I'm a very big Star Trek fan. I didn't get into it. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched Channel 11 in New York. WPIX would show the reruns of the original, and we watched them as background. But it wasn't until I became when I was in college, in my early 20s, and I just Star Trek Next Generation was a big hit, and I saw like everything, and I just absorbed myself into Star Trek. I had comic books, the regular books. Like we talk about Star Wars' expanded universe. I was like, I was a historian. You can ask me anything about Star Trek, and I can say anything that happened.
I am not. That's why he's here.
Yeah, thank you very much. And when J.J. Abrams announced it, I at first I was fighting because I was like, he's got to be that good. I love Lost, so I was like, I'm trusting him. And I'll be honest, he picked the perfect fight, like in the opening where Samuel Kirk gets killed. Again, no big spoiler. The movie came out 5 years ago.
No, that meets our rule on spoilers. So,
and I read that Star Trek. Yeah, and I read that comic book. I read the expanded universe book of it, and I cried. The whole emotional opening, and I said, I couldn't believe it. He actually, in the first 15 minutes of the movie,
makes you care about something,
and did
in
what no one thought he can do. He actually reimagined the universe and within guidelines. We went back to a moment that was in the other movies, and he just turned something around, and that's it. Now you have this whole alternate B universe, and I'm like Doc Brown on the board. This is the alternate universe, Star Trek B, and it worked. And like I said, Zachary Quinto, great Spock.
He's a great actor.
Chris Pine's a great Kirk. I mean,
he's another great piece of casting.
Yeah, and then when Khan came out, I mean, again, remember Benicio del Toro was going to play Khan. I was like, oh, what genius! And then they said, oh yeah, we're going to do that. Benicio del Toro backed out. We're going to do something else. And you're like, all right, whatever. And then when the movie came out, they kept it in the wraps up until like the last day. Did I like it? It was good.
The reveal wasn't great. I mean, I don't know that.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, I like.
He's great in it. I think
he's a good actor. I mean, I like his Sherlock Holmes. Right now, he's doing some great stuff. It was good. I mean, it didn't surpass Montalban's Khan, not even by a close mile, but still, to journey into this new alternate Star Trek universe, and almost on the lines of the Mirror universe. I mean, I think it's really exciting. Now, you had J.J. Abrams write the first two, Robert Orci and his other partner, Chris, whatever his name is, did that. But now you got, so that's what I was going to ask you. Is Simon Pegg solo writer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's a partnership with.
Because I heard Robert Orci's not.
I think the initial writer.
No, they backed out. That's why. But Simon Pegg.
Yeah, because Robert Orci, that was the writing team. It was Robert Orci and who's his partner?
Chris something. I like him. He's done a lot of science fiction stuff too.
Yeah, but they split up the writing team, and then I think it was what happened, and then they ended up both backing out of the project. Yeah. Robert Orci and Alex Kurtzman. And then Lindelof obviously wrote some of it. We want him to stay as far away from all this stuff as he can.
But Simon Pegg, what I like about Simon Pegg, he is funny. He's dry though, like any other Englishman. Very dry. So I hope whoever they get for Star Trek 3 can bounce off this like English humor of his. But he is a good writer.
Yeah, they're very funny movies though. I think I think these movies have a lot of character to them, a lot of humor, and a lot of. They're really fun. So I think he's not a bad pick for that. I don't know how much screenwriting experience he has though. Definitely not in the science fiction realm.
Simon Pegg, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
he's been credited for a lot of the movies we're about to talk about.
All the movies we're going to talk about, the TV show Spaced, which is a great show. So he's got, I'm looking at here, he got 23 credits.
I'm not claiming anything, I just don't know.
No, but he's good. A lot of the stuff is good.
Yeah.
I just hope, this is a big film now, Star Trek, and you can't disappoint fans. This is a big thing. J.J. Abrams pulled it off. You got to do something within the universe that we're all going to enjoy, that's going to be funny, as well as, dramatic, of course, so... We'll see,
Yeah, he was attached to the first two. I think he knows where we're going with it. I don't know what kind of direction he has in terms of where it's. And I don't think he is the sole writer, so we'll see.
So we'll see.
I don't know if they'll bring Lindelof back to help. As well. Who knows? But as of now, he's attached to the writing aspect and the pre-production aspect of Star Trek 3. So that's cool. Anyway, we'll move on to Birdman, which I saw now.
Yeah.
Finally, I got to see this movie. It got nominated for Best Picture, which is great. I think, and especially now that I've seen it, I'm really excited that it did get nominated.
Yeah.
And because of it, it allowed me to go see it in theaters again because I totally missed it when it first came out. Great movie, very good film. It's about a former celebrity who played by Michael Keaton, who back in I think it was the early '90s, he starred in 3 Birdman movies and. Everybody went nuts over him, and he was crazy. And then he didn't do a whole lot after that, and so he's basically the movie opens with him directing, writing, basically a theatrical adaptation of some kind of play that I forgot the name of it. It's what we mean when we talk about love, something like that. I didn't write it down. Basically, so he's starring, writing, and directing his own theatrical play of this book, or again, I don't remember what it was that he adapted, but so he's doing it all himself. And the movie opens with this scene of him levitating in his room. It's in the trailer. He's and he there's just this monologue that plays over the track, and this is something that happens a lot in the film. His other self played basically the Birdman part of his mind starts talking to him and insulting him and stuff like that. It's really terrific, and it's basically Michael Keaton doing and I want this really dark voice, and it's really great. And so it opens with him though. Basically walking through the halls of this theater on Broadway. You would know what this is. It's very much a New York Broadway movie. It's kind of isolated on that street. They go to a bar next door, but it's not it's about Broadway though, and so it's set in one of the main theaters. I don't know. You would know what it is, but I've been to New York once myself. But basically, he wanders through the halls and they're going to prep this scene. And he walks on stage and they're going through this scene and it's not working. One of the main actor just isn't doing a good job, and he gets really frustrated with it. And then one of the hanging lights from above falls and hits the actor and knocks him unconscious. And he goes to the hospital, and so basically they have to decide what they're going to do. If they're going to replace him, who are they going to replace him with? And Edward Norton gets chosen to play the part.
And who is Edward
Norton in the film is this big Hollywood, not Hollywood, Broadway big shot. Somebody that just kind of walks into productions and does his own thing, but just knocks it out of the park every time. Critics love him, audiences love him, everybody loves him, and he's a total dick. And so this is, it's not really that's not necessarily all that this movie's got going on, but that's one of the main plot elements is Michael Keaton kind of trying to direct this guy that doesn't want to be a part of, or he does want to be a part, but he wants to do his own thing. There's a scene where it's a great scene where Edward Norton is drinking gin on stage, real gin instead of the fake prop gin. Michael Keaton goes to take it from him, and it ends up being a big problem. Anyway, though, and throughout all of this plot, though, Michael Keaton's daughter, played by Emma Stone, who's also great in the film. There's this they have kind of a rough relationship. He left. There's a lot of that going on, family drama and things like that, which is actually, I think, the most touching elements of the film are dealing with those two. And so you have this father-daughter. Emma Stone plays his assistant in the movie, so she's kind of in and out of the film throughout the whole thing. And it's just really, really great. I didn't know anything about this movie going in. I actually when I started watching it, I was I literally don't know what this movie's about. I had no idea. I didn't even know that it was like about like a Broadway. I mean, I knew he was like writing a play, but I didn't even know that was like the main plot element. The trailer's all over the place. It's really hard, and that's kind of how this movie is. But in a very
that's what I heard.
Planned way. Like it's all over the place, but it knows exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think the driving force of like kind of this is a movie that is all over the place, but it works because of the incredible cinematography from Emmanuel Lubezki, who did Children of Men and Gravity. One of the best working cinematographers, and the way that this whole film is orchestrated, it's basically you could call it a gimmick, but I think like 20 minutes in the film, once the plot kind of rolls in, you start to ignore it. But basically, it's done as one shot, the whole movie. And they didn't shoot it as one shot, and that's not what happened. I mean, you can't shoot a movie in one. It's been done like twice.
I was gonna say,
but it's been done very low. Yeah, like movies like Rope or
Touch of Evil.
There was one that was recently. I think it was a foreign film. But regardless, though, it's done to look like it's all in one shot, and so like it's mostly Steadicam, and so like they'll be following an actor, and they'll get up and like run with them down a hallway, or like back up through down steps and around. And it's just really impressive because it adds, even in all the madness, it all feels planned, and because the cinematography.
Snake Eyes, Brian De Palma.
Yeah,
that's the one that's one shot.
Yeah. There's a fair amount of them, but I mean it's definitely not done in one shot. I mean, this movie is not. That's not what happened. Well, basically, they have planned sections where like a character will, like in the movie, there's anytime they go up onto the roof of the building, there's like this dark spot that they pass through, and the character kind of walks into a shadow, and that's when you make the edit. But it's still, even with that, there's still very long takes. Yeah. And a lot of times you can kind of like anytime the camera does like a whip pan, you can edit into that. There's ways around this, but the overall idea is that it's all one thing, and so it has like this really chaotic feeling to it because of all this movement and all, but it totally fits, and it really works. It's very impressive from a technical standpoint. This is a weird movie, but it's really well performed by everybody in the cast. It's really well directed by. He did Babble. It's Alejandro
Inarritu.
Alejandro Gonzalez, I think Inarritu. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I kind of hate Babble, so this is a huge step in the right direction for me. I kind of really hate that movie. Yeah. That's a story for another day, but this is a huge technical achievement, though. I mean, I think of all the people nominated, a Best Director award to him. I mean, Linklater even. I think this is just such an impressive feat from a directing standpoint, just to be able to balance all of these different elements, all these characters, and doing it all in one. It's not in one shot, but even just being able to orchestrate it like one shot.
You don't like him as a director? You just don't like Babble?
I just hate Babble.
Oh, okay. So listen, look at he has a very impressive.
Because he also did Amaros Perros.
Amaros Perros was one of my favorite movies.
That's a great film.
21 Grams I love.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Rudo and Cursi I liked.
Beautiful's okay.
Wasn't that great, and then Birdman.
Yeah, so he's got. I mean, I really like Amaros Perros. I think that's his best. I think this is his best film. I really think Birdman is great. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's just so bizarre. I mean, I found myself just kind of laughing at how bafflingly strange this movie is. There's lots of humor in it. There's lots of then it's genuinely touching at moments. Emma Stone has a great monologue halfway through the film. There's this whole concept of like being a celebrity versus being an artist, and what that means, and if you've actually contributed anything to society over the course of your life. Michael Keaton's somebody that wants to be great. He wants to perform, and he wants people to remember him, and that's kind of his thing. He wants to be relevant, and that's what the movie's about. And all the characters in the film also have that issue, and that's especially his daughter Emma Stone. And it's a great theme that's strung throughout it, and there is there's these elements of like his subconscious versus what's actually happened, and there's some really great gags involved with that. How
surreal is it?
It's very. I mean, there's a couple scenes where he. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a hard movie to spoil though. But because of just how, like, I mean, even you see the trailer and there's lots of elements of it. I was like, when is that going to happen? As I was watching it, and I do. Okay. There's all these things that you're like, well, that's in the movie, and it's all there. Like, there's sequences where, like, there's like really mystical blue lighting and just things, really bizarre things happen in this movie from a visual standpoint, and so it kind of blends this, blends like reality with the subconscious, and it does that really well. And
I think that.
I would honestly compare it to like something like Louis, like where there's sequences where weird things will happen that you don't necessarily know if it's something that happened in real life or not. It doesn't do this very often in the film, but when it does, I think it accomplishes a lot because he kind of is living in his mind, and there's this really very interesting things that happen, and it's something that does really well. And then also there is a character, and this is my only really complaint about the film. I think a lot of people have this issue, at least critics, because there's a theater critic in this movie that is your stereotypical awful critic that will say I'm gonna destroy your film before your play before I even see it, and I'm planning to go in and hate this, and that's the way it's portrayed, and it's really obnoxious, and it's kind of it fits in with the whole element of like the way that the media perceives you as a celebrity or as as an actor, it fits in all with all that, but at the same time it's somewhat pretentious coming from an artistic medium, because it's somebody that's it's a character that's written into a movie, and so because of that, the filmmakers are the ones going, you critics complaining about complaining about our art, and you've never even done anything yourself. There's a line in it. There's a very great scene with Michael Keaton in the movie where there's a line where he says, you become a critic when you failed at your profession. When you have to become a critic when you can't be the artist. That's a good point. Sometimes it's just kind of a very one-sided argument. I think that the movie makes. It just doesn't work in my opinion. But that's partially because I love film criticism. I love talking about movies. I love people that love movies, and that's just kind of
Did he write it or no?
No, but Inarritu. I don't think so. Let me see. Who wrote the film? He wrote it. With some other people.
See, and I was about to say, because his reviewer has been up and down with critics. Critics like him, don't like him.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, on Motorspedals, I think it's his Citizen Kane, and ever since then, he's been trying to get back on the horse.
And Babble was one that, like myself, a lot of people just disliked, but then a lot of people loved. Some people have this, it's a masterpiece, and then some people are like, no, it's a piece of shit. It's terrible. Good,
but it's not great. Not at all. And some of the stories don't even work.
But that's an opinion, of course. I mean, in that I agree, but but it's still an opinion. I mean, the movie makes a big statement about that, and it's the whole. I don't know. It's really frustrating to a degree, but other than that, that being said, it still at least is involved with the whole plot in a way. It's not just some throwaway line with some obnoxious critic. I mean, it works it into the plot in a way that's kind of obnoxious, but still. That's my only complaint about it. I think it's a really good movie. I think everybody should go see it. I think of the things that have been nominated, it's one that I've been a huge fan of. Whiplash as well. Whiplash is a movie that I just think is outstanding. I don't know which one I like more yet. I need Birdman to sit with me a little bit. I've seen Whiplash twice. I'd like to see this again. Because I don't know rewatchability as well. Who knows? But I think both those movies are. If either of them win Best Picture, I think that's a great thing. They especially just for how bold this movie is and everything it does. I mean, I think it's really a great film. So go see it. Love it, hate it, I don't care, but you definitely should check it out.
How's Zach Galifianakis in it?
Zach Galifianakis is great. Now the movie has like a lot of like just real quick dialogue, and he has kind of a lisp, and he almost struggles to keep up with that like really fast talk. At times, it's kind of funny. You're watching him, it's like, oh my gosh, he's like struggling to get that line out. But he's very good in it. He plays Michael Keaton's like producer assistant, or not assistant, but it's his best friend in the movie. His like the person that kind of oversees all the production stuff, and he's great. Amy is it Amy Ryan?
Amy Ryan.
I don't want to get this name wrong.
Andrea Rosenbaum.
Yeah, Amy Ryan. Yeah. I love Amy Ryan, and I always forget her name. But I've loved her since The Wire, and I just think she's great, and she's very good in this. She only has a couple scenes in this movie, but she is excellent. So anytime she pops up in a movie, I'm like, oh, I love this movie instantly. Amy Ryan's in it. But yeah, there's so many people in this movie. It's very good. Yeah. I just, it's weird though. Like I could totally see audiences being like, what the hell is this movie? But I think there's a lot of humor in it. It's just a lot of fun, but also genuinely touching. Yeah. And it accomplishes a whole lot. And Edward Norton is fantastic. And I just have to say, it's so great to see him. Yeah. And I'm surprised by how much he's in this as well. I'm so glad he's in this movie a lot because he is really good. He plays a total prick, but he plays it well. He plays it well. He's great. Go see it. It's excellent. You need to see it as well because.
Is it good enough for like a date movie?
No. I don't know about that. You can go see it with friends. I mean, I saw it with some friends, but like, I still was just kind of like, oh, I hope they don't hate this the whole time. I was like, I love this, but it's going to be a mixed bag for a lot of people, I think. But I do think it's pretty outstanding. That's an opinion, obviously. Anyway, we'll move on to our director of the week, Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. I like Edgar Wright.
I think both of us have the same opinion on Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
other than maybe our favorite film of it.
Yeah, that's very good.
It'd be the only one we might disagree on, but we'll get to that.
Edgar Wright. So when did you first hear of Edgar Wright?
I think the first movie I saw was Shaun of the Dead. And that was kind of, I didn't know the name at that point.
It was a video. You saw it on video.
Yeah, I saw it on television even, so it was probably a couple years after it came out. I mean, but Shaun of the Dead came out in like 2004. 4 or 5. I mean, it was...
Yeah, because, I mean, I remember, I'm a big George Romero zombie Shaun Dead fan, and looking at the poster, looking at the way the zombies looked, they fashioned
2004. I was 10 years old when that movie came out. Let's think about that for a second. When it came out. Yes, so I mean like at 10 years old, I hadn't seen a lot of the George Romero stuff. So like I caught it on television. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of funny," but I didn't. I don't even know if I finished it. Yeah. I had watched it for the first time well after that. I think I saw Hot Fuzz on DVD and was like, I need to go see everything about this director now. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of how I found out about Edgar Wright. I don't know, it's just kind of a
it was like I remember I heard about this young actor, director who focusing on a movie, a romantic comedy within the George Romero Dead universe, and then when you see the zombies, I mean, it's obvious that it's in this universe of
stupid
George
zombies.
Romero, but then I started looking up these actors, and I remember hearing about Space. And then I went and found Space, and it was such a funny, and Edgar Wright, was writing and directing episodes from there as well. Yeah. And like Nick Frost mostly, because I love Nick Frost. He's so funny.
Really great. Yeah.
It's like an Abbott and Costello team, basically. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I guess that's where he began. I mean, a young guy up and coming. He did with Simon Pegg. They wrote it, and I love Shaun of the Dead. But what do you think? I mean,
if you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, basically it's like Edgar Carlos. You'd be surprised. There are people that don't have any clue that these movies exist, which is just disappointing to me because I think I have to say I think these 4 movies we're about to talk about could all be on my top favorites of all time.
That's true.
Honestly, like I really, and I think that says a lot, especially like The World's End just came out. I think it's a fantastic movie. This dude's just been knocking it out of the park. But Shaun of the Dead is really great. That being said, I think it might still be my least favorite of his films, and it's not because it's bad by any means. And this is where we disagree because I really think Hot Fuzz is his best movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Really?
We agree. Yeah, I agree. I think Hot Fuzz is my favorite of all 4.
Shaun of the Dead, like, kind of, it was his first. I mean, really. I mean, I don't know if he directed any episodes of Edgar Wright before he did this one. I don't know. I don't think he directed any of them.
No, you're right. He wrote.
I think Shaun of the Dead was his directorial debut,
but he wrote Space. Yeah.
So I mean, it's really well paced. All his films are really well edited. I mean, it's just it really flies, and there's a lot of really great dry humor, British humor. It's really a funny movie, and it also kind of takes pokes at bad zombie cliches and just horror cliches in general, and just kind of the the jump scares and stuff like that. And I just think it's a really amazing debut feature, but I think he just kind of perfects it as he goes along. I think it's the least polished of his movies, but that's not really. I can't fault the movie for that because it's his first film. I think I think just from a production standpoint and from a writing standpoint, I think they just get better as they go.
Yeah.
And so I guess we move on to Hot Fuzz. I mean, I think Hot Fuzz just. So you take a film that like it's about zombie movies. It's set in kind of that same universe, the George Romero universe, and then you move. But it also has these elements of like friendship and romance in it as well. And it handles all of those things really well. And then you take Hot Fuzz and you go, all right, let's make an 80s or 90s action film, a buddy cop movie,
set in a Hammer world. Remember, his movie resembles the Hammer horror films. But most importantly, what is this movie? A lot like, the Wicker Man.
Yeah, so it has from the small town mentality, there's not everything's quite right. And this is the first film, though, where I feel like, just from a writing standpoint, like, this movie, everything has a purpose. Perfect, yeah. Everything has. I mean, every little detail. Just like quick little lines, and that's why this film. If the ending of this movie, I think, just works so well for me. I just think because it ties all of these little elements together and just makes this big explosive buddy cop action film. I mean, it's really a spoof. It's the closest. I mean, I think it's the most blatant spoof of all of his films. Like this movie's making fun of and also being a really effective buddy cop action film, and it takes all of the great elements of those things like stupidity and just kind of they both get drunk at the beginning of the movie and just, like there's just genuine chemistry between Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. They're just great in all these movies. Like the Michael Bay Bad Boys 2 reference is one of my favorite things in a movie. And so when the end happens, it's just gloriously. It's so much fun, and I think it's one of those. The last 30 minutes of this movie is just this. You watch it and you go, this is a director who made the exact movie he wanted to make, and it's like when I watch a Wes Anderson film and I go, this is exactly what he wanted to make, and it when it accomplishes everything that I think it's trying to, it's something worth applauding, I think. And
I agree that like with Hot Fuzz, and again, not to jump ahead, but just to mention it, The World's End. It has a very British feel to it, which is good. And
it stars a lot of really great, like Martin Freeman pops up, and I don't know if he's in Hot Fuzz would be the other one. He probably is.
A small role in that one.
But he's in everything but Scott Pilgrim, I think. I don't know if he's in Scott, but Scott Pilgrim is his least British of his movies.
Exactly, and it's more of an American comic book film.
Yeah,
but like even Grindhouse, the trailer he made for that movie is straight up Hammer film cheese. 70s in like 1972, and it's what I like. I think that's where Edgar Wright is good in his countrymen's or his native, what do you call
native
that?
land
native lands zone, because it's like The World's End again. That's my least favorite, and I know
it's so hard to. But that's fine. I don't think there's anything
because the ending does get a little bit too convoluted with the giant.
The end is a problem, I think, for sure. But I just think there's so much goodness in that movie.
But there is, and that's what I'm saying. And that one too. It's like you got these like the Day of the Triffids. It's like 1962. Invasion of the Body Snatcher type feel, and it's very funny. And I like Simon Pegg is perfect. I love his character. I love the flashbacks. They picked the perfect group. And like you said, Martin Freeman is when you cut to it's Shaun of the Dead at the opening, when the two groups are passing each other,
and they're like a mirror.
They mirror each other to the T. Exact same people.
And it's really it's just very clever, and I mean I just don't know how you write a script that's as funny as these movies are, but it also has like a point. It's really impressive, and I mean, but then you have all these really great British actors like Alice Lowe, who was in Sightseers. I love her to death. She's in all of these movies. Stephen Merchant, who obviously has been pretty successful lately, and I mean, even like Steve Coogan shows up and he's not even credited. And I mean, there's just all of these like random British, just really great British actors. There's another one that Olivia Colman, who was in I think she was in Locke, and she was in Locke, and just like all these like random British people that are really great. They show up, and they all get these little roles that are memorable and fun. And
Ed Woodward, Raph Spiel, Jim Broadbent's in it.
Jim
Timothy Dalton's good in it.
And every one of his films have like all of these really great little supporting roles. Not huge name British people. I'm sure like you could say Simon Pegg, and some people over here would know who that is. I mean, I guarantee you, there's people who don't know Simon Pegg. But he's a huge, really great actor, and you have all these other great actors as well. I mean, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
The World's End was one of the first ones I had seen. I had seen all of his films up until The World's End. That's his most recent one, obviously.
Yeah.
I had seen, by that time I knew who he was, and so like, that came out last year, so like I was really excited for it. I think it met all of my expectations, but then also does so many interesting things on top of that. I mean, I think the end of that movie has like a genuinely sad but also just fantastic, character piece with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Yeah. After going through all of these movies, to see that relationship kind of finally come to a head and be, it's just really interesting, and I applaud it. I think it's a great filmmaking.
Yeah.
And another thing though, I just want to applaud whoever, I don't know who gets credited for as his editor on all of his films, but the person that edits these movies does such a fantastic job. These movies are so well paced, and just like they do a lot of stuff where they'll do like green screen transitions between like basically, and I say that what it means is you'll have like somebody walk in front of the camera, and it leads into it transition like an object, or like that person's movement wipes the screen and leads us to the next scene. And Hot Fuzz, I think, is the best example. Hot Fuzz does that all the time, and
the film,
and you have like a lot of whip pan, and like with the sound effects, and like it's all it's so energetic and fun, and I mean, it's something that like I just think from an editing standpoint, it's like this. I could show that to like another student or somebody and be like, this is how you can edit a film and make it so much more interesting than even like it's a well written script and it's a well performed. But then you take this, you cut it together in a way that's just so much fun.
I'm trying to see if he was in all these movies. The Chris Deakins one who did Hot Fuzz.
Gotcha, the editor.
Yeah,
Chris Dickens. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if he did.
Who also edited like Slumdog and some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Barbarian Sound Studio. That's a really well done movie. This guy's really great.
Yeah,
and he did Paul, and he did. This guy's a really great editor. But he looks like he's credited for Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. He did Submarine as well. He's got some like really good films on his resume. But I think it's great. I mean, and Scott Pilgrim, you can tell us a little bit from the comic book side of that.
Yes,
because I do not know anything about that, but
Scott Pilgrim.
I wholeheartedly recommend Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I know you loved it a lot.
It's a near perfect movie, I think.
Yeah, and it's like as you know, Scott Pilgrim first was an anime, little cartoon book. There's I think 8 of them. I first got introduced by my niece Monique. I dug it. When the movie came out, it's funny because if you compare them shot for shot, the action was close, but the characters, I feel always younger in the book. But Michael Cera, oh my God, he's such.
But it's hard to do with the subject matter to do a live action version.
But he did it. He cast it perfectly. Yeah,
because he can play somebody that's like 20, but also looks younger. Which is more fitting of like the comic book. I mean, I'm just commenting on what you're saying about it, but like you have like it's in the comics they're more like 12, like 14-year-olds.
Anime characters are really young,
but you can't do like sexual romantic comedy stuff with 14-year-olds. That gets really strange.
Yeah, very strange.
And if Mary Elizabeth Winstead was in this movie,
oh my God,
let's be real.
I fell in love with her in this movie.
She's adorable.
I saw the Thing
super attractive
remake
and awesome.
prequel because of her. And she's done so many other things. But yeah, she's very good.
Got a cell phone here.
Yeah, can you hear it? It's all silent.
It's vibrating though.
Oh, it's vibrating.
It's shaking the whole table.
Is it? Was it? Hold on. But I love Scott Pilgrim. The whole, like the crash and bang, and
you
know, the Batman-esque, you know, word balloons, and I mean, even the fucking Sex Bomb, the band is genius. The songs are amazing.
The soundtrack is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is great.
There's so many great people in this movie too. Let's all.
Aubrey Plaza, who I love.
I just want to read.
You want to read it?
I want to read the cast real quick because I love everyone. I mean, Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kieran Culkin, who's really funny as the brother. Yeah. I guess he's Michael Cera's roommate. Is he his brother? I don't know.
No, it's just like his best gay friend. That's what he said.
Gotcha. And then I haven't seen it. It's been probably a year or two. Alison Pill, this is really fun. She's on The Newsroom now. She's pretty obnoxious in The Newsroom, but she's really great.
Who played Kim?
And Mark Webber is really funny. Johnny Simmons is great.
He's great, yeah.
Anna Kendrick, Aubrey Plaza.
That's right.
I mean, there's like all these people that were like. I guess this is. A lot of these people were huge. I mean, you have Jason Schwartzman,
Jason Schwartzman was really big.
And then you have Chris Evans for like 2 scenes. He was really funny.
Oh man, Cap.
And you have Mae Whitman who played Anne in Arrested Development.
Arrested Development, that's right.
Like,
who else we got here? We got Mae Whitman. Brandon Routh, Superman.
Brie Larson. It's just...
Brie Larson's hot too, man.
She is adorable. And if you haven't seen Short Term 12 with her, you should see that movie.
I have it on my queue. Go see it.
And then Bill Hader plays a
Thomas Jane, too.
Yeah.
Justin Collins.
There's so many people in this movie.
It's vegan police.
Yeah. Now, it's a big hipster doofus movie, but it's making, it's kind of making fun of the hipster doofus-isms.
Yes, definitely.
And, there's like the line where they're walking into some place and he's like, well, I really think that I really think that the first album is better than the first album. That's
right.
And it's just so stupid, and it's making fun of just that whole genre of people, and just how ridiculous some of the things we say are. I'm not. I said we. I'm not a hipster. I try my hardest to not be a hipster. It's the worst thing ever, but yeah,
I revel in it. Don't worry about it.
No, I mean, it's like I just think the movie captures that, like, the stupidity and the ignorance of. I've totally said stupid things like that before, though, about a band or about somebody like that I like, or movie or something that I'm just like, oh no, this Ben Wheatley film is way better than it's so much better than The Spectacular or whatever movie is nominated for Best Picture. We've all been there. The movie makes fun of that, and it's just so much fun.
It is great, but I just love all the movies. I mean, like I said, with the exception of the ending of At World's End, but I mean, Scott Pilgrim. I'll be honest, when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, man. And then it was like, you told me to keep going, and my friend Melissa was like, you have to watch it again.
Oh, you didn't like Scott Pilgrim first?
Like at first, I was like, because I liked the books, and then it's like I watched it.
It is a movie that's hard to take in the first time.
Yeah,
I think there's and it's not because it's overly intelligent and you have to. It's not like a Paul Thomas Anderson film where you watch it and you're like, I don't understand what just happened. It's a movie that's like all the humor is it's subtle, but then it's also like real quick. It's like something like Arrested Development where it's like lines will be underneath other stuff going on, and there's a lot of background jokes and things like that, and that's the kind of stuff I love. And so that's just it is hard to kind of take in at first. I think so I would understand somebody watching going, it's kind of then you watch it again, you're like, this is awesome.
And funny, and check this out. My daughter Emma that's her favorite movie of all time, and she can watch that movie nonstop. And I think that's what happened. Like after the divorce or the separation, like Emma will come over and watch Scott Pilgrim like every day, and that's when I just fell in love with it. It was like I would watch it with her, and so many good jokes, just so, and like I said, the performances by all these people is just unbelievable. The 9
all the ex-girlfriends. It's just so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I need to watch it again. After we finish this, I'm going to go home and watch all of them. I'm just going to have because I own all of his movies.
She hasn't watched them, so I can't wait for Robin to watch
really?
them. She hasn't seen any of them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know a single person that I can show one of these movies to for the first time. Now, I feel like I've shown everyone.
I lucked out because I can watch all my movies over again.
She's never seen them.
And she what she did? What did we watch the other day? She did she loved Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but she didn't. Great film. And she didn't dig on, she liked Dog Day Afternoon, but she thought Eternal Sunshine was better. And I was like...
Well, better, though. You can't...
In the aspect that, because she liked the romantic... She's into romantic shit. she liked the romance angle there, but she loved like Al Pacino, and Al Pacino's such. On screen.
You really can't compare Dog Day Afternoon.
No, I know you can't, but I'm just saying she liked it. But it's good to show them to her because she.
You should show all of them.
All of them. Yeah, so.
All of the movies.
Yeah.
You should show all of the movies to all these people. Everybody needs to watch it. That's my parents complain all the time, like about just like me forcing them to watch stuff. I'm like, this is why I buy movies. So I can hand them to people and say, you need to watch this. And like that's why I enjoy watching things with people because I feel like I'm watching it for the first time and like I don't know. I love watching like strange films and just like watching them watch it and be like. You get excited with them, or when there's something confusing that happens, you get to go, yeah, isn't it awesome? We watched Saturday Night Fever with her and a couple of her friends. Yeah, and it was like it's funny that you say that because a lot of stuff, you do put blinders on certain things, and like the relationship with his brother, that I am really paying attention to now. Really well done, but there's just a great. Talking about
It's Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, Saturday Night Fever. Yeah.
With Tony and his brother, the priest, Frank. Jr.
I've only seen that movie once. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was at your
film fest. And but there's one scene funny. They stop in front of a real estate office. They just talking. That's when the little kid Joey's talking to Tony, and they my girlfriend's pregnant. Call me. I need to talk to him. And like I said, wait, what? We paused. And the rent in New York City in Brooklyn. It was like a studio apartment, $80 a month. Like shit like that. It was like that. I never saw that before. I was like, I just oh my god, let me check this out. I think the most expensive was it said 8 rooms for $370 a month. Oh my god! But it was little things like that. I was like, I never caught it the first time. So thank God for Blu-ray and DVD. You can pause shit. But
and you can actually see stuff.
Watch it over again for discovering new things. So, yeah.
You should watch every movie that you love more than once.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't. Yeah, I mean, my mother. I love you, Ma. But my mother's a being of, I don't know, like she'll see a movie once, and that's it. And so like we'll be watching, and then me growing up watching movies. She's like, what are you watching? Oh, The Godfather. Again? And I'm like, yeah. I said, you can watch it a million more times. Oh, you've seen it once, you've seen it already.
You might not be as surprised by it. You can't. It's hard to be surprised by a movie again, but...
like The Sixth Sense, it's hard to be surprised.
Obviously, but I think there's still technical things. But part of it's because I'm as a filmmaker, as somebody that I watch something over and over and over again, and I go, oh, that's interesting how they piece the scene structure, like how long a scene is. Like you pay attention to like the running time of a scene. You go, why did that get cut down? Why is that shorter than this? Like what you start looking at like all those kinds of things like we're moving to this scene after that pivotal scene. Like, I don't know. It's just like you'll watch something, piece it together, and you'll go, that's, they cut to the more boring scene in between these scenes. Like it's hard to explain without like a specific example, but I don't know. You start looking at that and piecing everything together and looking at shots and placement and composition and whatnot. And I think there's a lot to love about it. It's an art form that it definitely can be viewed multiple times, and there's always something that you'll miss or notice or that you didn't see the first time. So
I think we said this already, but what's a movie you like to watch over and over, but watch, not background, like you will watch, and you enjoy watching to see something again, or just.
Obviously, there's Pulp Fiction is obviously. Lebowski, a lot of the Coen Brothers stuff. I think like there's always something with like movies like A Clockwork Orange. I've seen that movie like 20 times. I love it because that's a movie like every time it's on TV, it's one that I click to. I click to like with a mouse, but there's certain films like I like the 21 Jump Street. Or that series, but like 21 Jump Street in particular. Every time that comes on TV, I'm like, I want to watch this again because I just love like those. There's so many films like that anytime I'm scrolling, I go, oh my gosh, that's it. Yeah, I have a lot of those. I have a long list of movies that I'll watch at any point of the day. But anyway, that's Edgar Wright. He's great. You watch all of his like literally every single film he's come out with. There's only 5. But he also produced Attack of the Block.
Oh yeah, we talk about Attack of the Block. I love Attack of the Block,
which is amazing.
I love Attack of the Block. Yeah,
Attack of the Block is so good.
And I know you told me to get it on Amazon. Where did you get yours? Because Amazon is.
I got it at Best Buy but it was when it first came out, so it was like they had it like on the new release rack, but it was only like $10 at the time.
Yeah, because it's like I got Amazon. Amazon has it as non-region free.
Well, yeah, because it's a
British import, so I got to find it.
It's a Zone B.
Check it out at the Comic-Con. There's a guy who sells region free Blu-rays, and I'm gonna see if but I love Attack the Block. I mean, I saw it when I first got cable back in 2012, and me and Gloriana, oh my god, we just loved it. And it's like
it's so really much damn fun.
Yeah.
It plays more like a Spielberg film, I think.
Definitely interesting.
I mean, it's kind of hard to compare it to like the
kids on the bikes. You got aliens,
Shaun of the Dead, and just kind of the whole like the kids are in on the joke, and that's that's something that is very Spielberg-esque. You have Goonies and all those movies like that. I think it's so much fun.
Yeah, I love Attack the Block.
It's a movie that a lot of people have not still seen. I mean, I don't know
how, and I'm trying to get it so I can watch it every day. I don't know.
I remember, and my family has not watched it either because I turned it on and the aliens showed up and they were like, "I don't want to watch this movie." I was like, "Why not? It's got aliens in it." What? My family said that. Shame on you, family.
They got aliens in it.
They got aliens in it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
I love their accents.
I was so frustrated. I was like, "But it's so good. Stop that. Stop that crazy talk." All right, we need to move on. We're at an hour and 5 minutes. We haven't got to television. So we're going to move on to TV, which is spoiler filled. So if you have not watched, we're going to talk about... Do you have anything you wanted to discuss TV-wise, other than we're going to talk about American Horror Story?
No, like I said, we've been catching up on Breaking Bad. I'm already season 5, so I don't watch anything this week.
We'll do a series recap on that whenever you're done.
Yeah, definitely. I got one more season to go. So I just saw Gustavo. I don't know, can we spoil that?
No, we're not gonna do any spoilers for Breaking Bad.
Because Frank, but anyway, keep going.
Somebody's gonna kill me. Somebody's gonna murder me in my home if we spoil anything in Breaking Bad. You would if I spoiled. I mean, if you heard any spoiler for like the end of Breaking Bad, you would like.
If I was watching it regularly, I mean, it's been off the air for 2 years. So
yeah, obviously, but still, we're not gonna spoil Breaking Bad until the podcast where we spoil Breaking Bad. That will be a future podcast once you finish.
You should do it. Yeah.
Anyway, you don't have any week-to-week stuff, though.
No, I didn't see Shaun Carter, and the only thing I saw was American Horror Story.
He didn't watch Agent Carter, which is the only show that he's responsible for watching every week. See, I have fucking 3 shows I got to watch every week.
It's Girls, The Following, and...
Not The Following. Togetherness. American Horror Story. Yeah, I don't watch The Following. I heard The Following's fine.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
No, I watched Girls, Togetherness, and American. And we're gonna. You've also seen American Horror Story. We're gonna talk about American Horror Story. We're gonna talk about all of season 4. So if you've not finished season 4, we're gonna spoil the whole season.
Turn it off.
Or really any other seasons for that matter. Like I have not seen Coven though still, but I don't really care if you spoil that. I forgot that I have not watched that. Whatever. They're anthologies, so it doesn't really matter. But
Stevie Nicks is in it.
Anyway, we're going to spoil Girls, Togetherness, and American Horror Story. If you care about that. If not, feel free to listen. But I'm going to talk about Girls next. Girls is, again, one of my favorite comedies. Anytime it's on television, I think it's one of the best shows on TV.
You say that.
In this episode, Hannah is still in Iowa. Well, I think we're going to get a full season of Hannah in Iowa. I don't think she's going anywhere, and it's going to be a problem. But this episode though,
want her to move,
but and it might come to a head. She might who knows what will happen. But as of now, Hannah's still in Iowa. But we went back to New York. Enough this episode that I was pleasantly surprised. Hannah's in Iowa, still with Elijah, who's doing ridiculous things in Iowa with her. There wasn't a whole lot for her plot this week. Literally, all she did was get into an argument with all of her friends in writing class. She basically went around the room and started basically pointing out the biggest flaw in each one of their characters, and it's kind of pretentious and obnoxious. I mean, anytime that somebody does that in real life, you just want to punch them in the face. Just stop talking. You're just making everyone angry. There's no reason for you to be talking anymore. Hannah is doing that in this episode more than she should. She's being her typical obnoxious self, and she's pointing out all of the biggest flaws. But it's funny because it's almost they're almost writing flaws in their character. From a screenwriting perspective, it's I'm going to point out the one flaw. That's I'm going to point out if you were writing a script and you had to make a character breakdown for it, it's I'm going to talk about he's got issues with his father and stuff like that. Some specific character detail that you're going to have listed in your screenplay is what Hannah goes and points out. It's kind of funny just from it's not tongue in cheek by any means, but it's always funny when they do that in shows. And And so she gets this, everybody's pissed at her, but she points out, she makes some pretty good arguments about some of the people that are obnoxious that she's dealing with in Iowa, and then but actually who Marnie got a lot of play this week. Marnie is one of my favorite characters because she's awful. She's one of the worst characters on the show. She's just a terrible person, and she's one of the most self-involved people on the show, and I can never be friends with somebody like her, and that's why it's so fascinating to watch her every week just continually just make really poor decisions. This week Marnie goes over to Ray's apartment and basically bitches about all this stuff and ends up sleeping with him because she's self-involved Marnie, and that's what she does. She complains about it, and then when somebody meets one of her needs or one of the things she thinks she needs, she sleeps with them, and that's what she does. And it's just painful to watch as she just continuously does all of these. I don't know. Just she does what she wants and then complains because it's not working out for her, even when she's making poor decisions that are just blatantly, obviously bad.
Alex Kaparsky.
What?
Alex Kaparsky's right.
Yeah, the actor. Apparently, he's a really good documentary filmmaker as well. I don't know. I have not seen any of his stuff, but Dave White actually has, and he fully recommended him. But
Dave White recommended Alex Kaparsky.
Yeah. Apparently, he directs stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the truth of it. I haven't looked that up. Go look that up while I'm talking about girls.
Yeah, you know.
And meanwhile, Adam Driver, Adam in the show, and Jemima Kirk, who plays Jessa, they've become closer. There's a mention of Adam meeting somebody at night. Jessa makes a comment about how it's have you seen her lately or something like that? And he's like, oh, I don't see her every night. And he's not talking about Hannah, so I'm assuming he might be having an affair or headed in that direction. I don't know. But Adam and Hannah have this thing where they only talk to each other once a month, and it's because they're trying to keep their relationships interesting. Adam bitches about how she talks about how he's like, yeah, all Hannah does is talk about really stupid shit the fact that they have donuts at the new movie theater, and it's I don't care about that shit. It's really great. And so Jessa and him have obviously become a little closer, and they're walking down the street, and Jessa is like, oh, I gotta pee, can you hold my bag? And she goes out into the road and starts peeing in between two cars, and obviously right as that happens, the police officer pulls up, tries to ticket her, and she starts arguing, and like she does, just kind of blah blah blah, this is a bunch of bullshit, I don't need to, why are you arresting me for this is stupid, and she tears up the ticket, and obviously they go to jail, and Ray breaks them out, and there's a nice scene at the end of that, though, after they're walking out of jail. Adam makes a comment to her, and this is why I love this show so much. He makes a comment. He's like, I don't know if I want to. She basically says something like "fuck the po-po." She's kind of joking, and he's like, "Yeah,
she
whatever."
Said po-po?
She said, "Yeah." She's like, or the 5-0 or something like. She's like, it just kind of her anarchist self comes out a little bit, but it's like an awkward moment where Adam is just kind of like, "I hate you so much," and she's like, "Yeah, man, screw the police." And Adam is like, "Whatever, that's stupid." And she's like, "What do you what's wrong? Are you upset?" And he's like, "I'm just kind of tired of your shit. You always." And I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but Adam is like, and I thought you just had a problem at first. He's like, I thought there was just something wrong with you. You had this drug issue, and I thought that was kind of why you're so crazy. But now you're sober and you still have problems. And I just, he's like, I don't need another friend. And he starts walking away, and she kind of stops him. Is like, but I do. I need you to be my friend. And it reminds me of the episode of Weeds where. The best friend in Weeds, she's an awful person, it's one of the soccer moms that lives in the neighborhood, runs over to is it Sarah Louise Parker? I always forget who plays the lead in Weeds.
Mary Louise Parker. Yeah, so they're sitting, and one of them's high on cocaine, and she starts grabbing Mary Louise Parker's hair and be my friend, and she's so upset. And that's what this scene reminded me of in Girls. It was great. There's also some good lines in it. Elijah makes a line where he's like, I feel like I've gotten so good at taking selfies that I'm not being challenged anymore. And so he buys this other camera and he starts taking more artistic photos. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. And Marnie has a conversation with her writing partner and says something like, it's normal for someone to not, want the person they're sleeping with to be sleeping with someone else. And he says,
I think that's a very culturally specific statement, and it's just completely ignorant. And there's some good lines in this episode, and again, there's always something with girls that I like about it. Whether it's just a couple throwaway, ridiculously awful lines from these awful characters that are on this show, or it's just plot related. I love the show every week. So if you've watched Girls, again, go see it. I highly recommend it. I'm not going to talk about Togetherness a whole lot this week. It was a weaker episode, I have to say. I still think Amanda Peet and the guy who plays the fat best friend of Mark Duplass, their relationship keeps me coming back every week. I think they're fantastic together. They've got genuine chemistry, and I just think they're really funny. There's this scene where they go to this like it's like a premiere event, and the fat best friend is trying to impress this executive producer, and Mark Duplass and him are going to split up and basically go do these awful things, like go do that thing where you have to go and pitch yourself to other people and meet people, and they're like, so let's go do that in like separate places so we don't have to see each other. He's like, let's go be awful somewhere else, and then like they're walking away. He's like, I love you, man. I love you too. There's great chemistry. Those relationships between Mark Duplass and the fat best friend. Look up his name. It's like he has a weird name. It's like Zysis or something like that.
Oh yeah. You
said it last week. I'm gonna forget his name. He's my favorite part of the show though. There's a scene where he's working out at the beginning that's really great with Amanda Peet. She's trying to like help him feel better about himself and just get thinner and stuff like that. It's great. I want to see. I could watch a whole show about that character. I just think they're fantastic, and it's a great show. This is a weaker episode. I don't think it moves fast enough. It's a little bit like, it's something that's predictable, but it's just like everything that does happen kind of happens, and it's a little too spread out. It just doesn't move very well. So I don't know that this is a great episode. I was like, I watched it with my family, and like I was the only one kind of like into it. Like,
they enjoy it.
This was one of those episodes where everybody else picks up their phone and texts through the whole thing. So I don't know. And it does end on a great note though, with Mark Duplass and fat best friend playing Tom Sawyer, air drumming to Tom Sawyer in their car on the way home. Krieger from Archer would be proud. But it's solid but not great. This isn't a great episode. I hope they come back with something a little more impressive next week.
Yeah.
Still do your thing, Mark Duplass. I'm sure you won't disappoint me like you did this week. I'm just kidding. But yeah, and so we'll move on to American Horror Story, season 4. I finally finished this season. I've been behind like the entire running time of the show.
What you think?
So I recorded. Well, it's set to auto record the whole entire series, and the second to last episode in the series didn't get recorded the week before when it aired. It got recorded after the finale. The night that the finale premiered. So basically, like there was one.
So the American Horror Story thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that. Yeah. Mine cut off, and I was like, "What's going on?" But then everybody said, "Yeah, mine cut off too." But then some people saw it.
Mine did. Yeah, mine didn't record at all the week that the second. It's episode, I guess, 12 or how many episodes are in the season? Let me look that up. I don't know. The second to last episode 13? Though, it didn't record, and so then. So when I was going through the list, you go up as you go through, as you watch them every episode, and I got to the second to last episode, and I was like, oh, there we go, and I played it, and it was actually the finale, and I didn't know up until it pretty much ended. When it ended, I was like, oh, obviously this is the finale, and I was like, I'm missing an episode, I'm really pissed. And so I basically had to watch the second to last episode after I'd already seen the finale. And the problem is the finale, really you could watch the finale without most of the stuff that happened in the second to last episode. It wasn't like in Lost where you watch it and you're like, and like it'll do the previously on Lost and you go, I don't remember that. Remember that. American Horror Story, I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh. Because it all felt like things that I understand would happen, and so I watched the finale just thinking, oh, this is the second to last episode, and it wasn't. I was really pissed about that. Uverse I don't know if it was Uverse or what, AT&T Uverse or.
But don't you go by the episode? It's 13 episodes.
Yes, I generally do that. It doesn't give you the episode number; it just gives you the title, though.
Yeah,
and then you can go and you can look at the release date to find out exactly what week it premiered. I didn't do that because I just wasn't paying attention. It was late one night that I started the second to last episode. So I was like, are you kidding me? Like, why? I don't understand how that happens, but whatever. I was just like super frustrated by it. So anyway, that kind of ruined my finale watching experience.
It should have, yeah.
I still enjoyed it. I was just confused by some things that happened. I was like, I don't remember that happening, And it's like,
that's what she was saying. I was like, yeah, and I was like, all right.
And I don't know. So I've seen it all now. What are your thoughts overall on season 4?
I liked it a lot. Again, it's still better. It's better than Coven. My favorite is still Asylum. The Twisty the Clown was, I think, the best thing of the season. What's his name? Oh my God, Neil Patrick Harris.
He's great.
He is really good at it.
It's too bad he wasn't in more episodes because he's.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I thought he was gonna be.
Also, while we're on the topic of him, how did his character end in this season?
Because I killed him.
Who did?
What's her name? Did he kill her?
Because I just totally did. Well, he sawed
this girl in half.
Emily.
Yeah,
whatever her name is.
What's your name?
That's in the second to last episode, though. I don't remember what, because then he turned himself into the police. Is that the last we see of him?
Yes, that is the last we see of him.
It's kind of weird, because he technically didn't really, I mean, obviously he had blood all over him, so I'm assuming they looked at it and they went, he probably did something bad, but technically you can't get arrested for stabbing and killing a doll. So I don't know how that worked out, but I just thought that was confusing. I was like, I don't remember anything happening in the because I watched him out of order, so I was like, I don't remember anything happening to him in the finale. So that must just be it for him. It's just kind of like, I'm so just frustrated that I missed whatever. But Evan Peters is great in this season.
Yes, he was good as Jimmy. Yeah.
And Jessica Lange is
always good.
She is so fantastic. So. It's so impressive that
she says she's not coming back, so that's not going to be.
Oh,
yeah. She says she doesn't want to do season 5. Or maybe it's a ploy for money. I don't know.
Maybe.
But for now, she's saying that she's not going to do it.
Granted, though, she has covered so many different characters and she's plays like other than season 1, she plays kind of a lead role in most of the or not. I guess in season 2, she's more of a supporting role. But I don't know. Yeah. She's a huge part of all of these seasons, and she's played so many diverse characters. I think this was the one where she really got the star lead performance in the season, and I could see that being like a decent I'm going to just do film from now on. Kind of a good landing spot for her, but she is so fantastic in it though, and I think the whole backstory of her backstory is probably I think the best part of this whole season. That was really fascinating. The whole legs thing. I still think the chainsaw stuff is really terrifying.
That was good. That was good.
That's horrifying to me. So that's
Pepper's
really
story
effective.
was good.
Pepper's story is very good.
That was the big reveal where we linked the 2 shows.
Yep. So I didn't. Whoop! I just knocked off my headphones. My ears are getting super hot. Oh my gosh! I might take these off in a minute. But I watched this season kind of. I didn't watch it back to back. Like I didn't watch an episode each week. It was kind of like I'd miss a couple of them and then catch up, and then I'd miss a couple more weeks and then catch up. And then I watched the friggin' episodes out of order. So obviously, I messed up the way you should watch these. I don't like watching this series week to week. I can't do it as well.
Netflix binge.
I don't want to wait 6 years for it to go on Netflix. It took 2 years almost for Coven to go on Netflix. It didn't get released on DVD until 6 months after it had been released. Or I didn't get released at Netflix until 6 months after it got released on DVD. I was like, whatever. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's not a great show week to week, I don't think.
Yeah.
Even though it does end on a cliffhanger every week.
Every week was good, yeah.
It's just not it's not really it's not a show I watch because I'm super engaged in what's going on plot wise, I don't think, but I don't know.
Well, what did you feel then about certain things? I know we discussed Twisty the Clown with Doug.
I think he's the best part of this series. That was the first 5 or 6 episodes until I guess he died in the 5th episode. Yeah. That was I was in. I was like, this is one of the best seasons I've seen so far. And once they killed him off, I was like, oh, that's sad. It was really great the way they did it. And then I do think the guy who plays Dandy is he's an outstanding actor. I don't know where they found him. Yeah. But oh my god, I mean, he's just
he was a surprise. That's
just one of those he stole the whatever casting director cast him is just I just did the best job I've ever. I mean, it's just such a find. And I mean, really, that's one of the most interesting characters in this year of television, other than I guess if you count it as part of 2014. Other than Rust from
and I like Detective. That they did that. They stretched 3 episodes into the new year. That was kind of, I don't know, Walking Dead-ish, whatever. I don't know.
I don't need a mid-season break for shows.
There's
no
reason to do that. But anyway.
I'm too bad at watching stuff week to week that there's just no reason for me to... Like, the only thing I can watch good week to week is comedy. But even that, it's because it's not really plot important. I don't know. It's just, it's not, like, I just don't like watching stuff week to week. And I think it's moving. Netflix is kind of the pioneer of let's release everything at once. And I'm a huge fan of that. Yeah, because I've been binging on everything now, so... But yeah, overall, I think it's a really solid season. I think it kind of, I mean, obviously I watched the finale out of order, but I still think like it kind of concludes like when Danny just starts shooting everyone. I always hate when that. I mean, it's effective. Yeah. Ugh, burp. It's effective. It's effective in setting up the fact that he's, or not setting up, but like it's an effective villain thing to do, like murdering all of the main characters. But at the same time, it's just kind of like I wish there was a better way to resolve some of the. To end some of the character plot lines. I don't know the names, but the one that played Tattoo Girl, the one whose father tattoos her face. That's a horrible thing to do, by the way. That is really genuinely terrifying. Short Arms, whatever his name is, he's great. He's very good in it. Yeah, he's Tattoo Man, I suppose. Yeah, they call him the Illustrated Man, but his name was Ryan or something like that. It was so sad that they just got killed off like with everyone else. It's just like those were characters that I think have kind of evolved well enough to at least give me some kind of relevant conclusion. Bearded, what's her name from Misery? Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates. Her conclusion to her character is like really, really great. Like we get this whole scene and then it all goes to hell, and that's odd. That was a really excellent way to kill off a character of a show. And then same with the way they killed Andy in the last episode is outstanding. I just want these characters that you've kind of set up. It's hard when you have so many of them. You just have such an ensemble. Especially this is one of the years. This has always been a show that's had a lot of people in it, but this year in particular had a lot of cast members and a lot of people that actually played a pretty significant role in the show, and so. Just having to kill off 10 of them in a scene, it's just kind of like, oh my god, like it's like it's like if you took Lost, you killed off all the minor characters, even though they're all very much relevant. Like if you did that in a show like that, it doesn't work all the time. Agreed. Yeah. So that was kind of disappointing, but I do love the scene though. I love Dandy just walking around like that's horrifying and it's scary. Yeah. And scary. Just the fact that he's so like nonchalant about it is really fantastic. Again, he's just he gives such a great performance in the season, and I do love. I do love the doll. I do love... what's her name? They brought back her. She's really great. She's a good actress. I'm looking for her now. I can't find her. Yeah, she's only in American Horror Story, I think. Yeah. She's in Coven, too. But she's in American Horror Story, though, only. It's a Jamie... Oh, no. Yeah. The girl with the Down syndrome. Yes, yeah. She's really great. And she plays the... I love the doll, the whole idea of the doll. I think what's his name is so great. I'm going so blank on names today. I apologize. I don't know the first time we've ever done that. I'm normally not terrific with them, but this week I am just like. And I love what's his name from American Beauty. Yeah, I love him showing up. We kind of mentioned that earlier, I think, in the podcast when we talked about the first couple episodes. But him showing up as the God, I don't even like who from American Beauty. What's his name? Not Peter Gallagher. Well, it's the guy who shoots all the films in American Beauty. Oh, Wes Bentley, who plays Wes Bentley. Yeah. Wes Bentley. Yeah, I love seeing him, and like I love that he showed up for 2 episodes this season. I do like. I like the way they concluded this, like the Elsa Mars story. I enjoyed that. Overall, I felt like I kind of lost it like halfway through, like 7 episodes into this season. I was kind of like, oh. You mean for the show? For the whole episode, this whole season. Yeah. I fell off of like 7 episodes in. What do you think overall, though? I mean, do you think like it was good? I liked that. I'll put it there. Let's see. I think it's number 2. Really? So it'll be Asylum. It'll be Freak Show. It'll be the horror show. And then Murder House. And then Coven. I still think Murder House is one of the best seasons of television. I adore the last like 5 episodes of Murder House. It gets so ridiculous. It is, and classic Twin Peaks.
I don't even think they knew what they were doing. Like, I don't think they really planned the ending like that. I'm sorry, I don't. But whatever. I mean, it was very weak at the end there. But that's my number third. Horror House, whatever. But yeah, Coven's still my least favorable. I guess too chicky. Too many girls in that. Again, the Halloween episode with the zombies is superb. I love that episode. But yeah, whatever.
Overall, really solid season, though.
Overall, the season
step in the right direction from Coven. I haven't even seen Coven, but I'm just going off of what everyone has said about Coven. Most people were slightly disappointed in that season.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that we're gonna wrap it up because this is going real long. So
that's it. We did our shows. And next week we're doing. You said
next week we were doing Michael Haneke.
Michael Haneke. I do. I like funny games. Just that it's a very disturbing.
Oh yes, movie, that's why we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Funny games is one we're gonna spend a lot of time on, and then you're gonna hate Amore. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I brought Amore over. I love Amore. I think it's. I don't love every minute of it though. It's not a movie I'm gonna watch. I bought it only because it was $10 on Amazon. It is not like Funny Games. It's not a movie you're gonna watch. There's disturbing elements to all those movies, and Amore is definitely one that's. I think it's just hard to watch at times. It's very different from Funny Games. It's a very different way, but there's some stuff in it that's really rough. But so you're gonna hate Amore, and we're gonna talk about it, and I love it. So we're gonna discuss that and argue about it.
Do you have both versions of Funny Games, or just?
Mine as well. I mean, we'll talk about both.
No, but I mean, you've seen both, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw it. Like I saw the remake.
Yeah.
Like, when did that come out? What year did that come out? It was like 2006 or something. Yeah, I think I saw it like 2 years after it came out or something like that. So it's still been like 6 or 7 years. But yeah, we'll discuss all that next week though, and we'll discuss. I'm gonna discuss Girls. Hopefully, Carlos will get caught up on Girls eventually. I don't think that'll ever happen. I did remember to bring Archer, so Carlos will catch up on Archer this week. And or maybe you won't watch all of it this week. I doubt you will, but that's a lot of television to expect from you. But anyway, that's what we've got on the schedule for next week, and I'm gonna try and see Nightcrawler, Foxcatcher this week as well. I'm trying to see all the Oscar nominations before the Oscars happen.
Oh, good! I saw Cachet. Sounds good.
So we'll discuss all that next week. I'm going to try and see Foxcatcher, and if I do, I'll get a review for you guys. But as of now, that is it for Indecisive Cinema, Episode 7. Go on iTunes and review.
Review, subscribe. This is a good episode. Check it out. Next week should be interesting.
Should be good.
It should be interesting.
It'll be better, bigger, better, awesomer. Indecisive Cinema.
Indecisive Cinema.
All right, guys.
Good night, guys. See you next week.